Good morning, folks. Welcome to another fireside chat and demo of Lake Superior Art Glass. Today we're going to be making Seascape pendants. Now I don't have an example to show you because I haven't made these in a long time, probably, I bet 4 years for sure. Yeah, it's kind of an older technique that I used to do for a very brief time. I didn't make very many. Yeah, so I figured it'd be fun to revisit that and give you guys some insight into the process. I've got all the Millefiori and Murini already made. In my demo last week when I made a Milli pendant, I talked a little about the Murini process and that I had made all these Millefiori and Murini back in 2011, I believe, as part of a study that I did into that technique. And so I did it in marbles for a while, and no one really cared for them, so I stopped making them, and then a few years later made some pendants, and people really dug those. So I figured it'd be a good chance to revisit that and show you how that's done again. So a couple updates. The Gofundme campaign is ongoing, so if you're enjoying the feed, feel free to donate 5, 10, 20 bucks, whatever you can. We would certainly appreciate that. Mother's Day is just around the corner. I hadn't really looked at the calendar yet, but it's less than 2 weeks away now. So I was looking at my orders though today, and that's what got me thinking about it, is that with some orders that came in this week and orders I've already had, I'm getting pretty booked up to be able to guarantee things by Mother's Day. So if you guys are thinking about getting something for Mother's Day from Lake Superior Art Glass, be sure to do that sooner than later. Even if it's not a custom order, a lot of our products on our website are still made to order. It might be a standard stock item that we make all the time. It doesn't mean we have it in stock. So even if you're not doing a custom order and you're just thinking about ordering a local image pendant or something like that, do that sooner than later so we can make sure to get it to you by Mother's Day. The cutoff will definitely be this Friday to be able to promise anything by Mother's Day. But depending on how this week goes, we may even bump that up sooner. It could be tomorrow or Thursday. So be thinking about that. Otherwise, might be a belated Mother's Day gift. So our weekly sale on straws is almost wrapping up. Tomorrow there'll be, I think maybe tomorrow morning will be like the last day. Buy 4, get 1 free. So our borosilicate glass straws are on sale. Clearance section is obviously still ongoing. And our local pendant fundraiser ends Thursday. So the end of this month, $5 for every local image pendant purchased goes towards the Artist Relief Fund of Minnesota. So if you're thinking about doing that, and or for a Mother's Day gift, get it in by this Thursday. That's when the promotion for that ends. And then we do have our Design Your Own Pendant promo going on. So hop onto our website, fill out the form with ideas you've got about what kind of pendant you might like to see being made, and we'll see if we can do it for you. Our swag, these shirts, hat, and a bunch of other stuff is available on the website, so be sure to check that out. Got a great shot of one of my good friends, Danielle, out fishing in her Lake Superior Art Glass shirt. She said it's her new Lucky Fishing shirt, so that was cool to see. Yeah, I think that was it. I think there was one other announcement, but I don't remember what. So it'll maybe come to me. But yeah, so we're gonna do a Seascape pendant. And I'm actually gonna pick the camera up a little bit beginning here just to show you guys the setup. Otherwise it's gonna be kind of hard to tell what's going on. So bear with me if it gets a little bouncy, but I wanted you to see the kind of the prep work and what goes into these pieces. So let's see if I can do this. I don't know if you can flip this around or not. Doesn't, oh yeah, there we go. So, right here I've got a bunch of my Millefiori all laid out. So those are all ones that I made back in 2011. And you can see, I've got them sorted by color. Now in this one, it's kind of a cool example because, do we have any round ones? Maybe not. If we were to find a round one, there's a round with a white bullseye, but not that one. But the square one started out round, and then I squished them into a square, put clear around the outside because you really want the outside of your Millefiori to be round. That's going to help you maintain the shape on the inside. If the outside is asymmetrical, and you get it really, really hot, you do run the risk of losing some of that shape. So all of these started out as like a blue and white round circle, and then I squished it into like a rectangle and then put more clear around it and pulled that down. Same thing with these. You can see right in the center there, there's just a yellow and white and blue, a small little ring. That one, once I made that, I took a section of that, put it into an optic mold to give it the ridges, which makes it look kind of like a gear, and then coated that in clear and pulled that down. So a lot of these containers have multiple steps in it. It started out as one shape and then transitioned to another. So this would be another example where I did it's actually got a red core, but the red doesn't come out until it comes in the kiln. So it's a red core with a white perimeter, and I made a cylinder of that in one section. Then I sculpted into a heart and pulled that down. In the other section, I put into a optic mold and made it look like a gear. These ones are some of my favorites, the Swirls. That I actually made a kind of a flat piece of glass and then rolled it up on itself and pulled that into the milli. Let's see if there's anything else super exciting here. That was one of the first ones that I did. I actually put, I think, stringers inside of a piece of clear tubing and pulled that down to get that kind of pattern. There's gears, and I think there's a couple stars in there. This one's one of my favorites. So this is kind of my Anemone Millefiori. That came from this cane originally. So I started out with that blue core, white ring, and then a blue ring around that. Stretched it down and then rebundled it with a bunch of clear glass and pulled it down again to get all those little tentacles inside of one rod. Then I took one of those and coated the outside with some colored glass and pulled that down again, and so that created kind of the amber looking perimeter ones that you see there. So that is some of my Millefiori selection, and I've got my layout here. So those are the Millefiori that I've picked out to go into the pendant. So I've got them laid out there. I'm going to be using my little hand torch, this little jewelry torch there, to preheat them, and then I'll put clear glass on top of it and melt them in. So that's what I wanted to show you guys. I'll get this set back up here. All right, sweet. So let's get started. What is it looking like? I forgot to turn on my oxygen. Because I did. There's going to be some air in the lines because I just hooked up the hand torch to a longer hose. So just got to get some of the air out of the lines so it can get lit. So I'm just going to start by preheating this Millefiori. You do have to be careful because the velocity of this flame can actually move the milli around. And that's no fun. You want your grouping to be really tight. Now I'm not getting these like crazy hot. Just want it hot enough that it kind of softens the edges and polishes the surface so that it's going to be more optically clear when it goes into the piece and hopefully trap less bubbles. All right, I'm going to continue doing that while I get my gather of clear glass hot. So this is the one series where my wife Caitlin and I actually kind of collaborated on. She used to help me make these, especially for like the bigger paperweights and marbles. There'd be a much bigger scene set out, and she would have a bigger hand torch and be there preheating everything for me. And I'd be getting a big old glob of glass hot and then coming down on it. And so, yeah, she used to assist me on these, which is pretty fun. Alright, well I got all but one in there, and that happens sometimes. Okay. Now we're going to work on melting them in. This part has a trick to it, just like everything. I want to make sure I try to keep as much heat off the milli as possible and as much heat on the clear as I can so that I don't distort the shape of the milli. As soon as that milli starts kind of losing its shape, you lose some of the definition inside of your piece. Get the white balance adjusted here. There we go. So for this technique as well, I'm using the compression flower, also known as an implosion technique that I learned from John Kabuki. That's what I love about glass is once you learn a technique, especially as for a specific application, it's amazing how many other areas it can cross over into and become useful in other ways. So I've adopted this technique for a number of different projects that I do. All right, so everything's pretty well embedded. Now I'm going to start adding my backing color, and for this I use Frit, so it can actually help fill in the voids between the Millefiori. I'm using Peacock Chameleon, so it'll be a really pretty teal color, but the chameleon means that it has silver in it, so we'll be getting some different color hues from that. It's always cool to get to look inside at this point and see how it's all looking. Things are starting to get nice and three-dimensional. I'm going to really heat it up this time and try to get one good final melt on here. I'll do one more layer of color on the back side. I might not even need another layer of Frit. Sometimes less is more. Alright, maybe as that cools, you guys might be able to start seeing that. Our oxygen delivery guy is here, telling him to ring the doorbell. You guys see that now? Kind of a coral reef scene in there. Alright, stick the punty on the back. Take off the lens on the front, and then it'll be ready for the loop. So I'm kind of excited to be revisiting these. It's been, obviously, like I said, many years since I've done them, and I think I'm going to make a handful more today as long as I'm kind of in the groove and I got everything set up. These ones take a little while to unpack all the milli and sort them out and get them ready to go. And so it'll be fun to make a few more of these today, I hope. Got a lot of orders I still need to do as well, but try to squeeze maybe 5 more of these in, something like that. Oh yeah, it turned out great. Super optically clear, really good open implosion type look. Super happy with that. All right, now we're gonna do that loop. For the loop, I'm gonna do take my 6mm rod and coat it in that same colored frit, so the frit or the loop matches the background color. Now I gotta pick a top. All right, so that's all good. Break it off the punty and give you guys a final look at it. Yeah, that turned out awesome. I'm excited to make more of these. So, there is the finished Seascape Pendant. Yeah. So, I am going to leave it there, run out and help our delivery guy unload the tanks, but appreciate everyone watching. Thank you all for the support. Remember, our straws sale runs out either tonight or tomorrow morning, so if you're looking at one of those, get them now. Any other Mother's Day gifts that you're thinking about, get those orders in as soon as possible so I can make sure to get them to you before Mother's Day. A reminder about the local image pendant fundraiser, $5 for every local image pendant purchase this month goes towards the Artist Relief Fund of Minnesota. So now through Thursday you can still get those orders in. And the design your own pendant. So if you're thinking about a custom pendant, you want to watch live on our live stream on Facebook here, hit us up on our website, lakesuperiorartglass.com, and let us know if you'd like to commission a piece. So as always, we really thank you guys so much for your ongoing support, all the orders, the GoFundMe donations. It's all super appreciated. And let's see, yeah, make sure to like us, follow us on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, comment, share, subscribe. Yeah, we can't thank you guys enough. So that's it for today, our fireside chat. And remember, life should be like glass, flexible. See you guys tomorrow.